Hello, everybody. We apologize for the delay in getting started. I just absolutely love when Zoom has updates, and we are working on getting everything connected. So if you did not have to do an update, then good job, because you already did it, or your computer system is smarter than we are. But yes, it is a fabulous day here on Ask Vet Live today. But you can use Ask Doc Live still if you want to get in contact with us with specific questions. Let me turn that reminder off. I'm already on. Oh, what a wonderful day. So I hope all of you are having a wonderful day also, whether you're just getting started or coming towards the dawn or the dusk, dawn to dusk, we reach around the world in being able to bring information to everybody wherever you are. My name is Rebecca Dukes-Kozak, and I am proud to be the host of this program for the next 2 hours as we bring empowering information to you in regards to your fur babies, feather babies, gill babies, whatever you have that is pet related. Today is your day. So we are bringing to you, the veterinarian that is a pioneer in conserving life in the animal kingdom, because he started in the animal kingdom. And for many of you, if you do not know, but do remember Marlin Perkins of Mutual Omaha's Wild Kingdom, Dr. Wallach was actually the pathologist for Marlin Perkins. And he was pathologist at the St. Louis Zoo. I mean, he's been at many zoos and has actually, with his research, obtained a $2 million grant from the National Institute of Health.
25 million.
Did I say it wrong again, Doc?
You said 2 million, it's 25 million.
25 million. Thank you. Even back then, that was worth what today? 50 million, 75 million? Because that was back in what year, Dr. Wallach?
That was in 1967.
1967. You have been changing lives of animals through nutrition. I think that is just absolutely fantastic, Dr. Wallach. And we are excited to be able to host this program with you on it and bringing information, because our animals are family too. We want to make sure that your whole entire family is getting the nutritional needs that it needs to have optimal health. And even for those who have started on a health of decline, it's not too late in most cases. And that's what this program is being brought to you for, is to find out what you can do as an empowered individual to help your animals, whether they're farm animals, whether they're domestic pets. It does not matter, because the man that we have on with us has seen them all, with over 400 and is it 32 or 52, Dr. Wallach, species?
450, let's go with that.
All right. So without further ado, welcome, Dr. Wallach, to Ask Vet Live.
Okay, well, thank you, Rebecca, and thank you, team, for setting everything up. I'm sure this is going to be a lot of fun, and we'll kind of, as we go along here month by month, it's going to be great. And so much we learn from animals, we benefit for humans. And so it's kind of a two-way street. And it's one of those things where you also, when you have a chance, you can go, what is it, to Facebook, to the Dr. Joel Wallach story. Is that correct?
So on YouTube, on Wellness Publications,
Mm.
we have the Dr. Wallach, the Dr. Joel Wallach story for sake of kids. So
Yeah. And so, yeah, basically, the reason I'm bringing that up is when I was doing the work in the St. Louis Zoo, it was not only pathology work, but also clinical work. And had so many publications and speaking around the world because we were finding out things that nobody had ever seen before, or they'd seen it and had no clue. They were blaming everything on genetics and autoimmune, the body's attacking itself. And I was able to prove that there are no genetically transmitted diseases in animals or people. There are no autoimmune diseases in animal or people. The ones that are considered to be genetic or autoimmune are just simply nutritional deficiencies. And so, it's in the beginning of my experience, excuse me, in the zoo, of course, actually was working in the clinical situation, dealing with feeding lions and tigers and bears vitamins and minerals, and the small animals, or like in little aquariums on display, uh, and so forth, making sure they got their nutrients and so on. And we were seeing really great results. And then when after that first discovery, when I was alone on a Christmas holiday in 1963, I was a third year veterinary student at the University of Missouri, and all the professors were gone. I was working my way through school by working in the pathology department, and this uh, sheep farmer or rancher, however you want to call him, brings me 50 dead lambs. Holy moly. Okay. Did the autopsies on them. They all had huge goiters. And so what happened was, he was telling me the day before, all his 500 lambs were perfect. He's getting ready in a week or so to take them to market. And that morning that he brought me the 50 lambs, dead lambs, all 500 were dead. They were beautiful the day before, all 500 dead the next day. And so obviously it was related to the goiter in those lambs. And so I just checked with the Weather Service, and in central Missouri, where they were feeding those lambs, the winter temperatures in December can be 40, 50, 60 degrees. And this particular time, it was running in the 40s and 50s. Well, the night they all died, the temperature dropped, had a catastrophic drop down to 16 from the day before, which was 40 something, 42, 45, and it dropped down to 15. And they all died of hypothermia because they all had a goiter, all had a problem with their thyroids. And so I started checking, okay, well, where would 500 lambs get something to interfere with their thyroids? Well, it turns out that all the neighbors, on the neighbor farms, they were raising a lot of hay and so forth, and they wanted Christmas money. And so they were pumping a lot of nitrate fertilizer to increase their yield from their land. And the excess nitrate fertilizer is going into the pond that the sheep were getting their water from. And the nitrates actually caused goiter in those lambs. And when the temperature dropped, they couldn't maintain their body temperature. So they all died from hypothermia. That was my first paper that I wrote, my first scientific paper. I'm only 23 years old. A student. I had my degree in agriculture, but I didn't have my degree yet. It was 2 years away from getting my degree in veterinary medicine. And it got published in 2 veterinary journals in 1965 when I was going to Africa to work on the white rhino conservation project for Marlin Perkins. He said I could come back after we had things stabilized in South Africa, in Natal province, Umfolozi and Shishlewi game reserves. The population of the white rhino at that time was only about 350. And they're concerned, of course, that some catastrophic event could wipe them out in a year or two, and so maybe overnight. And so my job was to catch as many as I could and ship them back to the United States. So to make a long story short, over a period of 2 years, I had caught over 200 white rhino, shipped them back here to the United States. And by then, Perkins and Barry Commoner from Washington University had gotten the $25 million grant from NIH to look for a canary in the mine. In other words, what we're looking for in the big zoos and the big cities around the world was a species of animals that was sensitive to pollution. Remember, that's the mid 1960s, and pollution was a big deal. And they're first recognizing the impact, the catastrophic potentials, and so forth. And they wanted me to come back and do things that related to the nutrition in the zoo animals. And if any of the zoo animals died from pollution, we were going to use them like the canaries in the mine. The old coal miners used to take canaries down in the coal mines. The gases that were toxic would go in the mine. The canaries were more sensitive than men. They'd drop off the perch and die, and the men knew to get out. So Perkins and Barry Commoner, the director of the biology department, Washington University, St. Louis, wanted me to find a species or multiple species of zoo animals that were sensitive to the same pollutants that humans were. So if these zoo animals were to die from pollution, we knew to evacuate the cities. That was the whole purpose of the study. And that's why it was a $25 million study, 10 years. And to make a long story short, what I found out was that there was no genetically transmitted diseases. There were no autoimmune diseases. And the publication, my thesis, turned out to be 5,000 pages. Okay, 5,000 pages. I had done 20,000 autopsies, 17,000 some change of over 450 species of animals and 3,000 in humans. And it was all coming together there so that when it was published as The Diseases of Exotic Animals, W.V. Saunders, the big medical textbook publishing house, bought the rights to publishing that book, my thesis, and they published it. They edited it down from 5,000 pages to 1,200 pages, which is the current page number, and they would sell them for $25,000 each. They published initially 90,000 copies, and they sold them like almost overnight at 25,000 each. That's because of the impact of the information from pollution. And people were, universities and medical schools and research institutions and big companies that were dealing with pollution and everything were buying up those books like crazy. You can go on Siri, and every once in a while you'll find a used one for sale for $5,000 or $1,200 or something like that. If it's beat up and dog-eared and so forth, used a lot, and a lot of notes in the margins and so forth. But again, what I found that the major cause of death in the zoo animals was nutritional deficiency, just like it was in the human population. And that's why that book was so valuable. That's why my thesis was so valuable. And it's what we do today, of course, in the zoos, we came up with what we call Arthrodex. Okay, Arthrodex is a nutritional supplement for animals, and you use use a quarter of a scoop of the Arthrodex for birds and mice and rats and guinea pigs and things like that, and then it goes up by body weight to elephants, so using Arthrodex as a supplement. And it has, interestingly enough, even though they may be sort of herbivores, they will eat and use the Arthrodex, which has a base of beef, dried beef, but then it also has the plant-derived minerals, the 75 plant-derived minerals in it. And then, of course, you get up into the larger animals, whether they're rabbits or dogs and cats and lions and tigers and bears and so forth. You need more and more based on body weight, and it gives you the dosages on the back of the label by body weight for animals. I mean, if that's all that was available, I'd use it for people also. Okay, it's a great product, Arthrodex. And then also, I like to use the plant-derived minerals. Okay, the 78 plant minerals that come from the minerals that come from the plants in the ocean. Okay, now these plants, some of them are like 25 million years old, and we get them, okay, plant-derived minerals, and we extract them and put them in a liquid, and or we make them available in powder. Okay, these same plant-derived minerals are in the Arthrodex, and it makes a huge difference. Now you have to remember that at the turn of the 20th century, the average lifespan of a family dog, a pet, was something like 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 years old. A 6-year-old dog was an old dog. Well, about 2000, not 2000, 1905 and 1910, these dog food companies started coming out because they were doing all this research in nutrition, and they were using dogs and cats and so forth. So they took that information and made commercially prepared pet foods, and they put these minerals in there. And guess what? Suddenly now, dogs and cats are living to be 12 years old, 15 years old, 20 years old, because they're getting all these nutrients. And so the same thing became true in humans. Again, you have to appreciate we can add 25 to 50 healthy years to your life. One of the things that really freaked everybody out was when I was doing my autopsy research on animals and people, what I found was the things that were really seriously thought to be genetic, like cystic fibrosis, thought to be a genetic disease of humans. Found the first non-human case of cystic fibrosis in a monkey at Yerkes Primate Center. When I told them it wasn't genetic, I didn't tell the public. I had told the people at the university, Emory University, it was not genetic. There was a simple nutritional deficiency, and they fired me. Okay. In 1977, they fired me. And so that's when I went back to school. It's a long story, but I got back to school and became a naturopathic doctor, licensed in 1982, so I could start treating people. And what I found out was the average lifespan of a medical doctor in America, the average life expectancy of a medical doctor in America was 58. 58 for doctors and 75 for non-doctor humans. Okay, so doctors weren't doing very well because they were eating snack food and quick food and doing all this kind of stuff and not taking vitamins and minerals. They might take vitamin C or something like that, but they weren't taking all 90 essential nutrients. And they were then and still pay a huge price for that. They die on the average of 58. Okay, that's their life expectancy. The human has the potential to live well beyond 100, 110, 120. And my book, Immortality, it was a 5-year study we did, and the same principles apply to animals. When you look around the world, there are cultures who live to be 110, 120, 130, 140. What's their secrets? Is it genetic? No. Well, what is it? Well, they live near glaciers and they live near volcanoes, and the volcanoes are spurting out all this highly mineralized ash, and the glaciers are grinding up the walls of the valleys, and in the water, okay, that these people use, they're very high in minerals for their animals and very high in their minerals for them. And so that's why they live so long. And so that's why we do that. Now, for animals with hair, you can find out what their mineral values are. Again, that book, Rare Earths and Cures, you can go to chapter 1011, page 272, and you can cut the hair off of dogs and cats and rabbits and anything fluffy, okay, and send it in and tell them that it's, what species of animals it is. And they will give you 2 charts. One chart is on the nutritional minerals, where they're at, or if they're missing or whatever. And the second chart is on toxic minerals like lead and mercury and uranium and that kind of stuff. And so you can adjust, okay, you can adjust the feed, okay, for these animals based with the Arthrodex, which I love. And also you want to put, say, an ounce of the plant-derived colloidal minerals, okay, the plant minerals, put an ounce, there's 78 minerals in here, and put an ounce of this in each pint of water you put in their water dish, okay, and they're going to love it. You got to watch it because they will just go crazy. They love those minerals. And you're going to add many, many, many healthy years to your life by giving them those 2 things. Now, the only thing I don't know, and so I'm in the process of asking, we'll find out, can they run the same nutritional test that we do in hair analyses in humans and animals? Can we do it in birds on feathers? If you can clip a few feathers off of a wing of a canary or a parakeet or a toucan or a hawk or some kind of bird you have, or a chicken, geese, or a parrot. Yeah, there you go. And so I believe you. I would believe you could, but we're going to find out, and we'll get back to you next month when we do this again and let you know if the feathers will work on their same test. Okay. And so with that, you have to appreciate that we've saved so many species by giving them these minerals and vitamins in their food instead of just throwing a piece of meat to the tiger, and the tiger'd love the meat. But you have to think, when in the wild, they're eating the skin and the guts and the bones, and they're eating the lungs, and they're eating the livers, where animals, whether they're a bird or a mammal or a reptile, they store minerals and vitamins in the liver. And so if you're just eating the meat, and that's why in the old days of the slave quarters, okay, we have a book also called Black Gene Lies. Black Gene Lies goes back to the slave quarter cures days, and this applies to animals, where it was not uncommon for the head slave in a plantation and some of his top personnel, so to speak, okay, they would live to be 85, 90, 100, 110. And the plantation owner, they would die in their 40s and 50s and 60s. What was going on there? Well, the slaves were using the wood ashes from their fires and their stoves and their fireplaces and fire pits as fertilizer for their gardens. And the carrots and beets and onions and cucumbers and so forth and corn were sucking up all those minerals from the burning the wood and the coal, and which are 98% minerals. The ashes are 90% minerals and 2 or 3% carbon. Okay, and so they were getting those minerals. Well, the plantation owners, they didn't want anything to do with that. Anything the slaves did, they didn't want to have anything to do with. And so they were importing food from Europe, from where their original country was from, or they're just eating meat. You know, they're raising some calves, and they would kill the calf, and they would eat the meat and give the skin and the liver and the bones and everything like that and the guts to the slaves, and they would eat that stuff. The slaves nutritionally were getting a better deal. Okay, so that's why the slaves lived longer than the plantation owners. And let's see here. With that said, let's go to Rebecca and the team.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. And thank you, everybody, for bearing with us and having patience as we're working on some technical issues with the lovely, wonderful Zoom platform, which we have grown to appreciate so much. So we're going to give them grace while they're working through some of their technical issues that create us technical issues. And, you know, it's just, we're a happy place, happy family. But one thing that I forgot to mention in the beginning is this wonderful disclaimer that we have to read because of the FDA. And the content of this program is to provide educational information only for the importance of nutrition and supplementation. Food supplies around the world are empty and void of what the body needs, including for our animals and pets, not just to survive, but actually thrive. And in this program, we will be sharing information that is coming from a pathologist who has done over 30,000 autopsies now on over 452 species, including humans, and using that data and figuring out, okay, why is this disease? Why is this cause of death happening? And looking at the nutritional and mineral compositions that come from that data and doing correlations. For me, a numbers geek, that's fascinating. For you, hey, it works. Let's just go with it. So these statements, again, have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration, and the products discussed are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. And the information contained on this Zoom is, again, for informational purposes only. If you are pregnant, nursing, or taking medications, please consult your healthcare professional before starting on any supplement program. Now, as we are going through and taking questions from those who are on live with us, If you have a question, make sure that you go to the Zoom menu and raise your hand, because I'm going to be going through and selecting the people who have their hands raised in the order that they have their hand raised. Normally, this program is for humans, but we are not going to leave you out. If you have a human question or a pet question, we're going to go through them. We would like to do pet questions kind of as a priority. I do have several that were emailed in that we're going to be going through as well. So Dr. Wallach, without further ado, if somebody referred you to this program, get back with the person that invited you to this program. Whether you're on live with us or watching a replay, it does not matter. Get back with the person that shared it with you. If it was through an email, because you're one of our valued email subscribers with Critical Health News or Ask Doc Live, you can reply to that email and one of our certified holistic health coaches will get back with you. If you have never spoken with anybody ever about longevity or any of the products, you can go to AskDocLive.com. You will find all of the products that are being mentioned on today's program, whether it's for pets or humans, they're there. And you can use that shopping cart in order to get the products on their way to you, or use the contact us and we can help you get the products that you need based on your individual needs, because there's a lot of things to choose from, folks. We are here to help you make sure you get what is right for you based on the education that we have received through the Institute of Holistic Health that teaches Dr. Wallach's programs. And the research that he has used has been so invaluable for myself and about 1,200 other graduates, which I'm super excited about. Because Dr. Wallach, you have created an army, a crusade.
Well, that was the
for
goal.
those that don't like the army. What was that?
I said that was the goal, was to create an army.
Yeah, and the whole focus is to help people find an empowering way to maintain or regain their health. Because we're not chemical deficient, folks. Our pets are not chemical deficient. It is mineral deficiencies that have been linked to over 600 different nutritional deficiency diseases. And if you've got it, more than likely, it falls within those categories. So Dr. Wallach, let's go to the first hand that is up. And we have Christy. Christy, go ahead and unmute yourself. You are on live with Dr. Wallach.
Thank you. Oh, this is so exciting. I got your new DVD, by the way, it's been around a while. Your Dead Doctors Don't Lie. I can't wait to watch it. I'm so excited. I called about Simon last week. He is a 14 going on 15-year-old terrier mix, long body, weighs about a little over 30 pounds. I'm just about a month, had him on your protocol. You just mentioned giving liquid minerals. Just started taking the kiwi minerals, strawberry kiwi. Can I put that in his water? Would that work?
Water.
Okay.
And so I let's just say you could,
It's the kiwi one, but I think it's probably okay, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
It's still the plant minerals,
Uh-huh.
but for the general population, it's a little more economical to go ahead and use just the plain plant minerals.
Yeah, I'll get those next time. I just did my order, so I'll have to get them. But my question is this: he kind of has his tongue hanging out at weird times. He's been a little short of breath and a little bit, not just a little, very grumpy. And I have CBD oil I give him very sparingly. I don't know what else to do. I've got him on your protocol. I'm out of the MSM, so I know I need to re-add that. But do you have any other suggestions?
Of course, you want to make sure, of course, the kiwi minerals has a little bit of sugar in it.
Yeah.
And he may be suffering from reactive hypoglycemia, low blood
Oh.
sugar,
Oh.
kind of thing going on there. And so that's why we go with the plain minerals and not the
Right.
sugar ones, and see if that doesn't help. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. That would be why his tongue's hanging out. I mean, it's kind of funny. His tongue's hanging
When
out.
they get low blood sugar, they feel exhausted.
Oh. Oh. Okay.
It's just like somebody, same principle. When human beings get reactive hypoglycemia, in other words, they eat a big dinner with a lot of carbohydrates in it, and potatoes and spaghetti and stuff like that, they go sit on the couch to watch TV, and a half hour later they're asleep. That's
Oh.
because their blood sugar gets dropped. Okay, because they don't have enough of the right nutrients to keep their blood sugar up where it's supposed to be, and they fall asleep. And they say, well, what's the matter with you? Every night after dinner, an hour later, you're asleep. I don't know. I just get sleepy. Well, it's because their blood sugar is dropping.
Gotcha. What do you think is hold off then on the CBD oils? I didn't know if that was helping him or not. I didn't know if he was in pain.
Yeah,
He was
need
diagnosed with
the
arthritis.
sweeties.
Okay.
Okay, and just follow the
Okay.
directions in the bottle for the weight
Okay.
dose.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Hey,
much,
you're very
everyone.
welcome. Thanks
Yeah.
for sharing the story.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you, Christy. Now, Dr. Wallach, I have an email that has come in, and Basha has a 7-year-old German Shepherd male. He's 85 years old. He
85 years old?
I'm sorry, 85 pounds.
Oh,
No,
okay.
he's not older than you times 7. That would be incredible. That's like Methuselah time. But 85 pounds. He was getting abscessed teeth, and then the vet had to take all of his teeth out because they couldn't get the infection under control. And x-rays showed that there is significant bone loss. Now, this is like bred top-notch breeder quality German Shepherd, Doc.
Okay.
What is going on?
Well, he's got osteoporosis of the skull. That's why all his teeth were loose, because the jaw and the upper dental arcade is part of the skull. And when the skull shrinks, the holes that the teeth are in get bigger. And so the teeth get loose, they get receding gums and all that kind of stuff. That's the clue. Okay. And of course, if you've got osteoporosis all over, it's not just in the bones and the legs, it's also in the skull. Okay. Doctors and veterinarians tend to forget this part, that they can also get osteoporosis of the skull. You just don't get osteoporosis of the right hip. Okay. The body doesn't work that way. Okay. And so here's where the Arthrodex is a perfect, and again, it'll tell for, an 80-pound dog. Just read the numbers on the back of the label. It gives the range of how much to give it for, usually breaks it up into the smaller animals is like, per ounce, but in the bigger animals, it's per 10 pounds. It'll tell you how much of the Arthrodex to add to the dog food. Use a good commercial dog food. I like canned dog food because in the Arthrodex mixes in it real easy. When you have dry dog food, it kind of spills to the bottom, and dogs, if they don't like it, which I don't see why they wouldn't, it's all made from beef. They love it, but they'll blow on it and blow the powder away, so they just get the crunchy dried food. So I like the canned dog food with all the vitamins and minerals in it, so you can mix the Arthrodex in. And then don't forget to put the plant minerals, 1 ounce of the plant-derived minerals per pint of drinking water in their water dish. And that should take care of the problem very quickly. You're not going to regrow his teeth back, but
Yeah, no, it's kind of too late for that one, isn't it? So tell me, what's the difference between arthritis in the hips and hip dysplasia in dogs?
nothing.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah. And so, you can get arthritis in little kids. And of course, hip dysplasia in puppies, and especially the larger breeds, they're not getting enough minerals as their growth is occurring. They're not getting enough minerals into that hip joint. But the same thing is happening in the skull, in the TMJ, the temporal mandibular joint. It's also happening in the shoulder joints, and this and the other. And same way when people, oh yeah, both my knees are gone. Well, both your knees are gone, your hips are gone, your vertebrae are gone, your skull is gone, your shoulders are gone, your wrist is gone, your fingers are gone, your toes are gone. But because of going up and down stairs, or, you know, you're spending time walking or whatever it is you're doing, you're putting a lot more pressure on those knees. So you're seeing the symptoms more in the knees, but the pathology is the same in every joint in the body.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Wallach, and the clarity. And I love how you go, more into depth when it comes to to this, and I mean, especially with animals, Doc. I mean, because you and animals go way back.
Yeah, well, of
Like
course. Well,
70-some years.
oh yeah. um, Absolutely. Of course, I grew up on a farm, and we were feeding. That's how I learned about human nutrition. Was I had what was called Tourette's syndrome back then. My parents took me to 20 different doctors between the ages of 4 and 9, and they none of them could figure out what I had and what to do about it. And so they were going to put me in an institution. They were going to institutionalize me. Well, that didn't sound good to a 9-year-old. What does that mean? 20 doctors couldn't figure out, got some horrible problem. And I say, all those calves we're feeding, they never have my problems. What are they doing different? Well, they're eating those alfalfa pellets with all the vitamins and minerals added to it. So that night, while I'm packing up, they're going to take me. That's a Friday night. They're going to take me on Monday to this institution where I'm going to spend the rest of my short life. Okay, in that institution, as experiment on me. That's a true story. I went to the barn and got a couple of quarts of those alfalfa pellets with all the vitamins and minerals in it. And Saturday morning, I took a couple of tablespoons of them, threw my cereal out and put just milk on my alfalfa pellets with the vitamins and minerals on it. Use that for cereal. My mom is shaking her head and screaming at me, but I said, "Hey, I'm going away on Monday. Let me do what I want to do." Okay. And so I did the same thing on Sunday morning. I did the same thing on Monday morning. By 3 o'clock in the afternoon, all my symptoms of Tourette's syndrome were gone. Just after 3 days on taking vitamins and minerals, and after 5 years of 20 doctors giving me medical treatments, it was getting worse. So when I was 9 years old, I knew the doctors didn't know anything about nutrition, and the nutrition had a great, great, great positive impact on really things that doctors didn't know much about.
Well, and as a farm kid myself, Dr. Wallach, I have a confession. I know what those alfalfa pellets taste like, and they're actually kind of sweet. They don't taste bad at all. I never thought about putting milk on them.
Yeah, I just use them for cereal.
Yeah. Well, and then, rabbit pellets, it's just a smaller
Mhm.
form.
Well, you got to read the label, make
most
sure they're not putting wheat, bran, around oats in them.
Right.
So you got to read the label, because you can still get messed up eating the alfalfa pellets if they're putting wheat, barley, rye, and oats in there. And so you got to read the label, make sure you're getting alfalfa pellets that do not have wheat, barley, rye, and oats in them. They can have corn, they can have rice, they can have potatoes, they can have all kinds of stuff, except wheat, barley, rye, and oats, and no peanuts. No peanuts.
And tell us why no peanuts, Dr. Wallach. You have a really good reason. I mean, we
Yes.
were told peanuts were a good protein.
Well, that's what we were told. Well, that may be true, but they're a killer. Peanuts, they are grown in the ground, and they get a infection, okay, with a fungus that grows in the ground, Aspergillus flavus, and the Aspergillus flavus produces a toxin called aflatoxin, and aflatoxin is the biggest single cause of liver cancer, and liver cancer is the third leading cause of cancer death in America. Liver cancer is extremely common all over the world, especially in countries where they eat a lot of peanuts. So now you'll hear me. I'm changing what I'm saying. I used to say no wheat, bran, rye, and oats. Well, now I say no wheat, bran, rye, oats are peanuts. Cannot have any of those things. Okay, and that's why, because it's going to significantly reduce your risk of getting cancer, especially liver cancer.
So does that also include peanut butter? Because peanut butter goes through like a heat process and grinding up, and they
No
add.
peanut butter, no peanut butter ice cream, no nothing with peanuts in it. Okay, and it's one of those things. I actually had one guy call me. He says, "Well, I've got a lot of peanuts here. What if I boil them?" He's thinking about killing that fungus. Well, that aflatoxin's already impregnated the peanut meat itself. Okay. And so he wanted, well, if I could boil them and kill the fungus, are they okay to eat? And the answer is no, no, no. Because if it was just the fungus, you're just eating the fungus, it might be another source of protein for you. But the fungus are producing that aflatoxin, terrible, terrible poison. You don't want, it's dangerous even to say the word. It's so poisonous.
All right, so folks, you've heard it here. No peanuts, no peanut butter. If
For
you
your
want
dogs
to,
or your parrots.
especially, and don't give them to your parrots either, or your bears, or any of them, especially if you want to avoid liver cancer. As
Yes,
I
well,
was
that's what I
doing
found
some
out about it.
research. Yeah, I was doing some research the other day, Dr. Wallach, and sure enough, I came up with a couple different articles that were talking about aflatoxin.
Mhm.
And you've been saying this for decades. I
Yes,
mean,
that goes back to when I came back from Africa in 1977. The first thing was not only to do those autopsies, to look for pollutants in the zoo animals, for early warning signals. But Marlon Perkins gave me this list of his personal interests. And one of the personal interests he had was bears were dying in all the big zoos around the world from liver cancer. Almost every bear in the world in zoos was dying from liver cancer at age in their 18 to 25 years of age. And a bear's optimal lifespan, if everything's perfect, they can live to be 65, 70 years old. And so why were all the bears in all the zoos all over the world dying? Well, the zoos were selling peanuts to the visitors, and the bears learned to stand up and wave their paws to get attention, and the people would throw the peanuts at them. They'd eat the peanuts. Well, the peanuts were all infested with that aspergillus, had the aflatoxin in them, and so the bears were getting liver cancer. And I got that all figured out and wrote that up and got it published in the International Zoo Yearbook. That was another one of my first publications, and they switched over to corn and dog food and stuff like that. The kibbles, the dry dog food. They were selling little packets of dry dog food for the visitors, and so suddenly now the bears are all living to be 50, 60, 70 years old and weren't getting liver cancer anymore. So I'm the guy that got rid of liver cancer in all the bears in the zoos in the world.
awesome. That's fantastic, Dr. Wallach. Good job. Well, let's go to Anne now, who has her hand up with us. Anne, go ahead and unmute yourself, my dear. You're on live with Dr. Wallach.
Good morning.
Hi.
So I have a success story that I wanted to share first.
Well, thank you.
About a month ago, my dog was having some issues. He's 3 years old and he's a golden doodle. We took him to the vet, and the vet diagnosed him with pancreatitis. She didn't do any testing on it, but she said, let's start there. So she put him on a drug, and that wasn't really doing anything. So I contacted Rebecca, and she suggested that I try the pancreas support. And after I got it, I started him on a Monday. By Wednesday, he was just about back to his normal self. It was amazing. It was like I got my boy back. So my question about this is, it says that it's not for prolonged use. So I was wondering if I should stop after one bottle. Yep, I got that too.
Okay, good.
So I'm going to finish off this bottle, and then do you think then it's just okay to stop it, or should I do another bottle?
Well, I get another bottle, but then I would only give them like one serving a week
Okay.
instead of every day. After you
Okay.
finish the first, just go to one serving a week and add this, okay, Dex.
Yep.
And let's see here. It wouldn't hurt to give an extra, you said it weighs 30 pounds?
58 pounds he weighs.
Okay. I would go ahead and give another one of our selenium capsules to that dog also.
What capsules?
Selenium.
Oh, the selenium? Okay.
It's going to make the pancreas happy.
Okay, that sounds good. And then the other thing I wanted to ask you was, should he be taking EFAs too?
Oh, yeah. The EFAs are essential for all living things. You know, the essential things are minerals, vitamins, amino acids, fatty acids, actually. And so you say you get 80 pounds?
58.
58. Okay, I knew there was an 8 in there somewhere. Okay, 58. Yeah, I'd go ahead and just give it 1. And you know, 1 month do the EFAs, the next month do the EFA pluses, the next month do the EFAs, next month do the EFA pluses. Kind of just go back and forth, or you can get both bottles, and on one day get EFAs and plus, you know, and so that way you're getting all the possibilities.
Okay, do you think like one a day is good
Yeah,
then?
for sure. Yeah. Yeah. One day is fine.
Okay. All righty, that sounds great. So I have both of those, the EFAs and the EFA pluses, because I take them too, so.
Okay, good.
All righty, so thank you so much.
Well, thank you for sharing the story, and your story with your puppy dog will be a great inspiration to dog families.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Anne. And Anne, if I may say, you're looking fabulous yourself.
Oh, thank you very
Yeah.
much. I
So
feel great.
Good. We can see it.
Oh yeah,
So-
the energy is radiating out, that's for sure.
That is fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing, Anne, and coming on with your question. And I'm glad that that worked. So I know it works for humans, and I'm thinking, okay, if we do a little dose for your baby based on 65 pounds, it's not going to hurt anything.
Yep.
And it made a world of difference and did what it was intended to do. So that is absolutely fabulous.
Yep, he's back to running his Zoom.
Uh-oh, what happened? Oh, I just love Zoom. Dr. Wallach,
He's
we're
back.
going to take a break right now.
Anne's
Okay.
back,
And-
Rebecca.
What?
Anne is back.
Okay, good. I don't know what happened, Ann, but we're going to take a break right now. Everybody, don't go away. We'll be right back after this short break. All right, and welcome back, everybody, to Ask Vet Live. My name is Rebecca Dukes, and this program is being sponsored by AskDocLive.com. You can also find just our pet products on SVetLive.com. But hey, I know that we have to take care of our pets, but if we're not around to take care of the pets, who's going to take care of them? We need to take care of the whole family, everybody. And that is something that Longevity does such a great job with in providing the 90 essential nutrients, plus the secret sauces that the body needs to be able to regain the health journey that we want to be on. So, like anything else, once we realize that we can choose our health journey and that there are options, and that's something that I didn't realize myself until I heard Dr. Wallach on the radio, as many of you have. So I absolutely love Dr. Wallach, his research, his message, how he used all of that scientific data through collection in his pathology work and related it to dis-ease. So, yes, and we are having some wonderful time with Zoom today. And hopefully when Dr. Wallach comes back in, there won't be any audio interruptions or video interruptions. I was able to do a little bit of remote tweaking. So hopefully I know what I'm doing. But if not, hey, we're glad you guys are here. Just love us. Keep coming back. We're going to get it right. It has been over 2 years that we have been doing the Ask Doc live show. And I absolutely love the fact that we are able to be around the world. So if you are joining us from somewhere other than the United States, in that Zoom menu, oh, there, Doc's back. Doc, let's see, can you unmute yourself?
How's that?
That is good. Now, as
Okay.
long as, so I feel like I'm on a boat now. So don't shake the computer. Because you're like, woo. Perfect. Perfect. All right. So Dr. Wallach, let's go to the next hand that is up. And Rob, go ahead and unmute yourself. You're on live with Dr. Wallach.
Hi, Doc. Hi, Becca.
Hi, Rob.
Hi, guys.
Yes, sir. How can I help you?
Okay, Doc, first I have a testimonial. I've been suffering with depression for a long time, and you and Shar have been helping me out greatly, and Synaptive has been doing miracles. My God, I haven't felt so good in 20 years, Doc. It's incredible.
We've had so many people who have contacted us regarding to the results they get with the Synaptive. I don't think we have 5,000 products. I don't think we've had another product where people would call us so often and tell us how remarkable it is, because it does deal with their emotions, it deals with their memories, it deals with sensory stuff, hearing and vision. It's a great product, Synaptive. I take 3 twice a day.
Yeah, I'm taking your recommendations too. So, and I'm also on BP, Tangy Tangerine 2.5. Do you have a preference between the tablets or the powder?
I use the powder because I use a drink.
Mhm.
I make a drink out of it, and so I can put other things with it. The tablets are not the same as the powder. The tablets are primarily for pain relief and also anti-inflammation. The powder has 215 nutrients in it. They're
Mhm.
2 different things to name because they're not biochemically the same.
Great.
One does not the other.
Okay, I'm gonna switch my order right now then. I'm also on EFAs, of course. I have glucogel now and collagen peptides, and I have some MSM on the way. Now, plant-derived minerals, maybe I'll have to order that too. Now, King, my cat, you know King, you've seen King on our
Yes.
Zoom. He's about 10 pounds. So how much should I give King of that?
Okay, well, it says right on the back, it gives you the numbers, how much per 25 pounds of body weight or 10 pounds of body weight, whatever it is. And so basically, I like to do it, let them choose. So what I do is put an ounce of the plant minerals into a pint of water in their water dish.
Mhm.
Keep the lid on the toilet down so they can't drink the toilet water. And they will drink that water at the rate at which, especially in the beginning, they'll drink a lot of water because they want those minerals. And once they kind of catch up and get the reserves in their body, they'll start slowing down, except obviously during the heat of the summer, they'll drink more water with the minerals in it.
Right. Okay, fantastic. I'll order that too then. Other question I had was a concern about titanium dioxide. I noticed that's in some of the products like Synaptive. What are your thoughts on titanium dioxide? Is it good or bad for us or our animals? Your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, that's why it's in there.
Mhm.
If it was bad, we wouldn't have the product.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So titanium, thallium, these things are good for brain function, also good for thyroid, good for adrenal glands, good for pituitary glands, good for skin, good for bones.
Mhm.
And so, it's one of those things where, everybody knows about calcium in bones.
Mhm.
But that's only one of 90 essential nutrients. And that's why we came up with the that's why we came up with the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. It has 215 nutrients and the core is still the 90. But when you look at all the nutrients that are in there, look at the minerals that are in the plant-derived minerals. Okay. And when you look at another one of my favorites was a 5-year project. We chased down the long-lived families in the United States. We chased down the long-lived cultures in the world, the ones that lived to be 120, 130, 140. And we chased down and found out what it is they consciously, proactively avoid and what it is they consciously, proactively do. Okay. And all that 5-year study is in this book, Immortality. It'll blow your mind. The information in this book can add 25 to 50 healthful years to your life, but you got to do everything. You got to avoid all the bad stuff they avoid, and you got to
Oh, Doc froze on us.
Yeah, Dr. Wallach froze on us. So we are
are amongst the oldest glaciers and volcanoes. Dew is just loaded with minerals, and so that's actually a support. The minerals are so important. And then when you go back again to the beginning of the 20th century, excuse me, at the beginning of the 20th century, it was very obvious that the cultures they were doing something different. They were living longer because the people who were just living like Europeans and Americans and so forth were only living to be half the longevity of these other cultures. And so this is very, very well documented.
Right. Okay. Now, as far as my osteoporosis of the skull, we talked a while ago about my jaw when I had extreme pain about that and loose teeth. It started to tighten up again now, so that's good. So should I consider the Healthy Heart and Brain Pack or stay with the Tangy Tangerine and all the other issues?
I would go with the more complete thing. I would go with the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. How much do you weigh, Rob?
I'm about 200 and dropping right now.
Okay, so I'd go ahead with 2 Healthy Brain and Heart Packs. And don't forget the collagen peptides. Don't forget the MSM. Don't forget the Synaptive.
Already have
and again, like I say, I also take extra if I'm going to do stuff out in the yard. And we have a very big yard with big gardens and things, and so I do a lot of stuff. And we chop wood for the fireplace and all that kind of stuff. And so we also use the glucogel, which was our first collagen we used in our Healthy Bone and Joint Pack for Theo Ratliff. And so now we have the collagen peptides and the MSM plus the glucogel. So I take 3 glucogel twice a day in my daily stuff. Okay. I take about 75 different products plus my 3 eggs twice a day. And it's one of those things where if I want to do something really strenuous and physical, I'll take 5 of those glucogel capsules twice a day instead of 3 twice a day, just to kind of ramp up a little bit and make sure. Remember, I'm 83 years old. And so it won't be long. I'll be 84. And so most people think I'm in my 50s. And so it's one of those things where I've been taking these nutrients for, as Rebecca points out, over 75 years. And it pays off. It pays off. It probably cost me, because I'm taking a lot of stuff, it probably cost me $10 a day for supplements. Okay. But, an average person could do a very good job on $3 or $4 a day, which is, like a couple of cups of expensive coffee at one of those coffee houses. And you add 25 years to your life.
Yeah. Speaking of looks, I just have to comment again because I'm always astounded with Becca. It looks like she's reversed another 10 years of age off her already. She looks like she's heading into her teens again. So come on, Becca, give us a secret.
You
What's your
are a
secret, Becca?
sweetheart. And no, I did not pay him to say that, but thank you so much, Rob. That's awesome. And I can hear in your voice, my friend, night and day difference. Night
Well,
and
yeah,
difference.
well, you know how bad in shape I was, especially during the COVID situation and that, and dealing with the murder of my mother, still everything on top of me. And it was really getting into deep, severe depression. And I was going to be forced on drugs. No. And I'm on these minerals now, all the product, and I am not going back. I'm not going back.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I'm moving ahead with longevity and everything in that respect too. So another testimonial, and I wish I had all these products for my mom as well too. It would have made a world of difference in her lives. So there you go. So
You're
yeah,
sharing your information, which is a great thing.
yes.
And we owe you a lot for sharing your information. Thank you so very much.
Oh yes, we're to go big with all this stuff. So there you go.
Okay.
One last thing about plant-derived minerals. I have some prize angelfish and some koi and that too. So I'm looking at basically a 50-gallon tank to a 100-gallon tank. So how much should I put into there?
Well, I would start out, again, at 50, I would start out with an ounce. Just start out with an ounce.
Mhm.
Okay, every day.
Okay. And I believe that the plants, the aquatic plants that I have in there, and I have plants immersed from there too, they're going to benefit from that also.
Oh, absolutely. The plants in the water will suck up those minerals, and
Mhm.
some of those fish will eat some of the plants, and so they'll get minerals that way as well.
I'm trying to prevent them from eating the plants, but yeah, there you go. Yeah, but then I'm making a complete ecosystem, and I know very well that the secret is to have the proper minerals and everything involved there too. So there you go. So hopefully I'm going to have longer living fish as well too. So that'll be fantastic.
There you go.
Okay. Well, thanks, Doc. Thanks, Becca. I appreciate everything.
Thank you so much for sharing, Rob.
Hey.
All right. Thank you, Rob. You're such a sweetheart.
Yeah,
Well,
Becca,
Dr. Wallach,
Rob has a great story.
he does have a great story. Well, yeah, he absolutely does have a great story. So I'm glad that he came on and shared that with us today, Doc. Now, Elizabeth, who's on with us, she wrote in the chat, she says, my 16-year-old Papa Lillian has a contract. Now, Elizabeth, if you could come on with us, is that a cataract maybe? Can you, Elizabeth, are you able to unmute? Because she's wanting to know what's a
I'm
good
here.
way to deal with it. So go
Yes.
ahead, I'm sorry.
Yes, I'm here. A 16-year-old Papillon with a cataract.
So cataract, doc, in the eyes.
Yes.
Okay, well, dogs and cats get cataracts too. Okay, and it weighs how much?
About 13 pounds.
13 pounds. Okay, well, I would just give it one Vision FX a day, along with doses of the Arthrodex. Okay, one Vision FX a day. And I would also throw in one Beyond Osteo. Now let me back up here. See here. Ultimate Daily Classic. That's what I'm looking for. Ultimate Daily Classic. One Ultimate Daily Classic, and one serving of the Arthrodex.
Okay.
So that way you're going to get circulation into the eye, and also Vision FX. You're going to get something very specific for the tissues in the eye.
Oh, okay. So perfect. So what do I call in to your phone number and order that?
Rebecca, tell her how to order it.
Yeah, so Elizabeth, you can call our 800 number, 800-984-3377. If you have never spoken to anybody about any longevity products before, If you have, get back with your distributor or you can call our corporate office. But we have a great group of people that even if you know your longevity ID number, they can help you place your order. Again, that's 800-984-3377.
So, okay, so thank you. I have another question. I have been diagnosed in 2016 with Parkinson's. And I'm finding that I eat wheat and Cheerios and granola bar all the time.
Oh
Granola.
my gosh.
So you think that's contributing to it?
Well, of course. Are you taking any statin drugs? Or are you consciously avoiding cholesterol?
I'm taking carbidopa.
Okay, well, here's your problem. You need to get rid of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no barley, rye, no oats, no peanuts, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. That one's got to go because carbonation in the diet drinks will neutralize your stomach acids, so you cannot absorb minerals or digest food. So you got to get rid of all the carbonation. And then let's see here. How much do you weigh?
145.
145. Gee, 3 eggs, twice soft yolk, soft boiled, soft poached, I have mine soft scrambled in butter. Okay. Because 25% of your brain weight and 25% of your spinal cord weight is cholesterol. You need the cholesterol. And then, don't forget, oh my gosh, take 3 of those twice a day, the synaptive, and again, 2 doses a day, 2 of the healthy brain and heart packs, a full dose of breakfast and dinner. Don't forget the MSM. Take 3 of those at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That'll be 2 bottles a month. And let's see here. And also throw the collagen peptides, a scoop of that with your morning drink, scoop with your evening drink. Don't forget the vitamin D3, 3 of those at breakfast and dinner. And don't forget this. Oh my gosh, you're going to have a great story.
Okay, great. So I should stop taking the huh?
Don't cold turkey. Don't cold turkey off the medication. What you want to do? Yeah, what you want to do is say, in a week or so, cut it by about 10%, and go cut it again. And then, if you're really getting rapid benefits, you can cut it by 25%. But don't just cold turkey off the medication before you start a program.
Okay, so here I find that I like granola. So after listening to you, I'm trying to think what can I eat in the morning for breakfast with the eggs, rice.
Well,
corn.
yeah, well, I eat rice. I also have potatoes, yogurt with the berries, blueberries or strawberries, that kind of stuff. I also like salmon, and let's see here. Let's see here, breakfast fish, salmon is a good one.
I've heard you mention tuna, Dr. Wallach.
I'm sorry, chicken of the sea?
Yeah, the chicken of the sea, tuna.
Oh, yeah,
Tuna.
I love tuna. Mhm.
Yeah, tuna. Again, fillets. I don't like the stuff that's in a can or something like that. I like the fillets that are steamed. Okay.
Sounds delicious. So can I ask you another question?
Go for
Go
it.
ahead.
Oh, okay, thanks. My husband's been diagnosed with prostate cancer.
Okay, well, cancer is always problematic. Okay. And so, in other words, he's got to get rid of all dead foods too. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no rye, no oats, no peanuts. And he needs to stay away from carbonated drinks and sugar. And then, how much does your husband weigh?
About 185.
Okay, he needs 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, a full dose of everything twice a day. He needs the MSM. He needs 2 bottles a month of MSM, so he can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. And they're going to support and promote maintenance, repair, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, including the bone marrow, which produces the white blood cells and antibodies and platelets and red blood cells, all part of the immune system to help defend against that prostate cancer.
Right. Okay.
And then what else would you recommend, Rebecca?
Dr. Wallach, I'm really liking the Z radical and what I've heard about the Z radical.
Okay, Z radical. There you go. I know it's one of Becca's, and his size with prostate cancer, he can start out with a half ounce twice a day, and if that doesn't give him diarrhea, he can go try and take an ounce twice a day. It comes in quarts, and it has the minerals from, I don't know, 8 or 9 or 10 seaweeds and sea cucumbers and kelp and all that kind of stuff from the ocean. And so it really, really helps the immune system in the bone marrow.
So I was going to ask you, does that help lower the PSA score, or does that stop the, what
That's
does?
the goal. The goal here is to lower the PSA. Okay. I would not give them because you don't want to be encouraging the growth of prostate when you have prostate cancer. So I would not have them take ProstFX. Okay. Do not take ProstFX. I would just take all the other stuff that we just mentioned, but stay away from ProstFX.
There is one more product, Dr. Wallach, that includes beta-glucan that is not from oats, that has been found in boosting the immune system and allowing the strength of the cells, that through some of our protocols have been found to be very beneficial, and that's the RVB 300 using beta-glucan. So I know one of our formulators, one of the companies that Longevity brought into their umbrella of products, AJ Lanigan, who is an amazing researcher, brought in that product, and it has been found to be very beneficial with any type of attack on the cells.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for answering 3 questions.
Yeah, well, that's right. Keep in touch with us every couple of weeks, will you? Let us know what's on.
Absolutely, Elizabeth. And for anybody that's on with us, sorry. All right. Anybody that's on with us, we've got all types of wonderful things going on today, Doc. It's been an interesting show. And I think that we are going to end it a little early today, folks, because of technical issues with Dr. Wallach's audio and video. I don't even know. Here, I'm even having a hard time getting myself spotlighted. If you can hear me, fine. So
I can hear you.
We've got, you can hear me? I'm glad you can hear me. Okay, well, maybe we can go on with another question. Let's go. So I don't have any hands up at the moment, but Dr. Wallach, I have somebody who has a 4-year-old Persian who has been diagnosed with feline leukemia. What would you recommend? She's down to 4 pounds, Dr. Wallach.
4 pounds. Okay, well, I offer that the cat the Arthrodex, okay, in the cat food, preferably canned cat foods that's moist, so you can mix the Arthrodex into it. And again, it gives you the amount of Arthrodex to give per pound body weight, so that's good. And it has a quarter of a scoop for 3 ounces, half a scoop for half a pound, and it tells you how much to give for each kind of weight category. I would also add 1 ounce of the plant minerals per, say, a pint of drinking water in a water dish for the cat. Make sure there's no other sources of water because you want it to drink those minerals. Okay, and then let's see here. I'm trying to think. Also, I would go ahead and add the something like the BTT 2.0 tablets. You can just kind of grind them up a little bit and put them in the food, and that will support the immune system as well as the rebuilding system. Okay.
Yes, because you're giving your body the antioxidants, which help to reduce inflammation, plus the nutrition. So without that inflammation, you're going to get better absorption because the inflammation is like swelling and keeping things from absorbing.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, the BTT 2.0 tablets is used very heavily in humans with cancer because, again, it supports the immune system and is a pain reliever, anti-inflammatory, so it covers a lot of territory, but it's not a replacement for BTT 2.0 powder, which has the nutrition in it. They're two different things. I don't know why they gave it the same name, but they're two different things.
Well, I take both.
I do too. I take both.
And I like my tangy tangerine, my OsteoFX mixed. I used to do it in like 24 ounces of water and then drank it all through the day. But I'm really liking putting it in about 8 to 10 ounces of water with half a banana and mixing it up really good. Just makes a really yummy drink. And I'll even put I-26 or hyperimmune egg powder in there just for added immune support. Because now that I'm not living out in the country and I'm coming in contact with like real humans, oh my goodness. I just want to have that extra boost of possible protection.
Well, I'm glad you do that because we have 5,000 products and I can't use them all personally at the same
I'm going to
time.
help you, Doc.
Okay.
I'm going to help you. So
We
what
have
you're
five-
not trying, because I'm not going to do the
I use at least 75 to 100 different ones each day, but I can't use 5,000.
Well, no, and see, I'm not going to use the Zera test or the Prostaf X. So you can use those. I'll use the Zera Fem. I'll use the Bust FX and the Woman's FX and the Woman's Hormone Balancer, which I absolutely love. I don't have any type of mood swings or anything like that. No cramping. Just ask me. I'm a perfect angel all the time now.
Well, your energy tells it all. Your smile tells it all. Okay. And so, and your recall, you're able to remember all the things that you've learned and so forth and share them with others. So we're very, very proud of you and thank you for taking on the responsibility to be a great angel.
Well, thank you, Dr. Wallach. I appreciate that. We have Cynthia with her hand up. Cynthia, go ahead and unmute yourself. You're
Thank you
online
so
with
much.
Dr. Wallach.
Thank you so much, Becca. Thank you, Doc. Good morning. Can
Yes.
someone over nutrify? And guess what I'm asking you, can you be taking the 2.0 tangerine plus you can be taking your plant-derived minerals added to that all day long? And is that fine also, Doc?
No, I do that. I take the plant minerals. I'm taking 2 of the Healthy Brain and Heart packs a month, and I take the plant minerals every day. Plus, I take the BTT 2.0 tablets. I mean, and I take the collagen peptides. I take the collagen, the glucogel, and I take the Ultimate Daily, multiple. We had the Ultimate Daily tablets. I take 3 of those twice a day. I take the Ultimate Daily Classic. I have blood pressure problems, but I take the Ultimate Daily Classic just to prevent blood pressure issues and support healthy blood flow through blocked arteries. And so I take a lot of stuff. I mean, I'm just giving you a small portion. Remember, I'm taking 75 different every day. And Synaptive, Memory FX. I take Memory FX. I take Synaptive and Memory FX. And then I take my 3 eggs twice. And so that means I'm eating 6 chickens a day because each egg, after 26 days of incubation, will hatch a full chicken. Okay, so when I'm eating 6 eggs a day, I'm eating 6 chickens a day because all the nutrients in those eggs will grow a chicken. Isn't that crazy?
Wow. Wow. Okay. That's great. One more question, Doc. May I
Did you ever
ask?
think of it that way?
Pardon me, Doc?
Did you ever think of it that way when you eat?
No, sir. No,
when you eat
Doc, but I got it.
or a scrambled egg, you're
I
eating a
just
chicken.
got it.
You know?
Yes.
If you eat 3 twice a day, you're eating 6 chickens a day.
Yes, well nourished, high protein. I have another question, Doc. Zerafem, is
Not
that
for
a
me.
good product
For Rebecca, yeah.
for someone with fibroids or a young lady who is a young girl who is 12 12 years old and having very difficult menstrual cramps and all of that.
Sure.
Is that
Yeah.
fine?
Yeah, yes, is there a film? It goes by body weight. If they weigh like 120 pounds,
Dr. Wallach is again having some technical issues,
Yes,
and
I see
I
it.
definitely, we've got to figure something out. Zoom is not our friend today. So unfortunately, when we were getting, now, are you back, Doc? Because I know the camera's not back. Is your voice back? No?
basically for the boys, we have Zeratest to give their the Zerafem get on to deal with all these side effects. The Zeratest. Okay, are you interrupting me because we got to move on, or?
Well, it's not that we got to move on, Dr. Wallach. You were like not there for about 30 seconds.
No.
So we're having some technical issues still. Cynthia, go ahead and give us, write us an email.
Okay,
Doc
Becca, will do.
Go doc@drjwallach.com with information, and we'll get your question answered there, okay?
Thank you so kindly.
All right, you're very welcome. And folks, since we are having the technical issues that we are having, rather than trying to struggle through it and not be able to get the information that Dr. Wallach is providing to us nice and clear, we're just going to call it a day. Go out, have yourself a wonderful day. Visit AskDocLive.com, and there you will find the good foods, bad foods list. Make sure that you get that list, print it out, have it available, and focus on those good foods. I know when I focus on the good stuff, I'm not missing the other stuff that it tells me not to eat because it's not in the forefront of my mind. I'm focused on the things that I can eat, which that whole list is full of yummies. And also, yes, I mean, there's so many foods. And if you don't follow me on Facebook, you should, because I share something almost every day when it comes to foods and stuff that I eat that's gluten-free and the doc-approved list of foods. Because there's so much that we can eat without adding those toxins, without adding those bottled oils that are causing clogged arteries and blockages and, you know, the need for pharmaceuticals, because we're not chemical deficient, we're nutrient deficient. So folks, go get back with the person that invited you to this program. You can go to AskDocLive.com and find all of the replays for the AskDocLive.com program. You can also find our last Ask Vet Live there that was done on the first Friday of September. We're in October now. Keep my months straight. And get more information. And I just want to thank my co-hosts, Heather Bowen, Dr. Judy Reynolds, and Ruth Ellen Sanchez for keeping that chat rolling and providing information there on how you can get in contact with us if you were not referred to this program. And if you are not already working with a longevity distributor, we want to make sure that your information and your order history, all of that stays together. As that person has a vested interest in helping you, we want to make sure that they have that opportunity. Although we love you all, and we love having this as a resource that supports the community as a whole. But we want to make sure that everybody is getting back with the person that invited them to this program. Dr. Wallach, thank you so much for joining us. I will be coming to visit you and figure out what's going on because I wasn't able to do it remotely today. But next week, we will see you here, same place, same time on Ask Doc Live. Share with a friend. My name is Rebecca Dukes, and until next time, bye for now.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody. Thank you,
guys.
team. Thank you, team. Love you guys.
Yes, thank you, team.
Bye, everybody.